The Hornet X Lace Fury is actually correct. It's confirmed. It's kind of a toxic relationship, I'm not gonna lie. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're ranking all of the Silksong bosses, and tonight I'm joined by the wonderful, the one and only, the mighty, the powerful Stizzl. What is up? As you can see, we've painstakingly taken screenshots of all of the bosses here. Let's get started. First up, we have this Ant Warrior guy. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about him?
Well, I mean, there are some bosses here that could just be, mini bosses or like really strong enemies. And I think this one kind of falls into this category. I would suggest putting this one in a low C, probably.
Okay, that's rough, man. Okay, so I think this is actually a full-on boss fight.
Okay.
Again, because we see him twice. We defeat him in Moss Grotto and then he comes back again. So he probably is a mini-boss.
Since Moss Grotto and Bone Bottom are like probably leading into Forest of Bones, it could be the case that this guy will try to stop us at the beginning of Bone Bottom or end of Moss Grotto, and then again further down the line in Forest of Bones when we are closer to getting to the Queen.
So you're saying he's gonna run away then? Yeah, that's also possible.
Yeah.
But from your ranking, I don't know. I'd put him in B maybe, because he does look kind of cool. I like his design.
I think if New Theory is correct and we do fight this guy twice and he's kind of like a bit more important, then I think a B is justified. Then
yeah, because he could be like a gatekeeper for this ant area. You feel me?
Yes. That'd
be pretty cool. Okay, so next up we have these two ant guys. From the literally 1.5 seconds of footage that we have of them, I gathered that this guy on the left jumps and the guy on the right throws these little saw blades. So these do kind of complement each other in their movesets. It's similar to God Tamer in the original Hollow Knight, I feel like, is what this boss fight could be. It could also just be a room with regular enemies, but we also don't see these kinds of enemies anywhere else in any of the trailers, I believe, right?
I do think we do. I think we see that the entire like Colosseum area is like filled with the other ants. I do feel like this will be a combat boss.
Right here, these guys. Yes. Oh yeah, you're totally right. There's like thousands of them. All right, point proven. This is not a mini boss. It's just it's just a combat room. All right. And for those reasons, we're gonna rank him in like D tier because they're not actually a boss. Fake boss.
Yes, because don't expect this to be a boss.
Okay, this is gonna be the not actually a boss tier. Fair enough.
Great.
All right, the next guy. I don't actually think this is a boss either, because he's just like in a regular looking area. This is the Entombed Husk. I feel like it's gonna be one of these kinds of enemies who's a bit more beefy, but it's also not a boss, right?
Okay, there's one reason why I think that it might still be a boss, and this is because like if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over to the right with this one flying enemy, once we defeat it, we do see like a very unique animation of like silk emanating from its body in kind of a you have just defeated a mini boss kind of way. I do think that out of these two, like the one on the right is more likely to be a proper boss because we see it in a different context.
I mean, the one on the right is definitely a boss, right? It's absolutely a boss. There's no question about it.
So like on the left, I think this might be in a normal hunt quest, not like a big hunt quest, because we...
Stizzl, 1 second. Can you explain the concept of hunts to me again? Just for the people who might not know?
So hunts in Hollow Knight Silksong started probably from a quest board, which are all over Farloom in different towns and stuff, and there's all kinds of different quests, and 2 types of quests are hunts and grand hunts. And we only have like 1 instance each of how these are described. I think one is like, oh, I want to go home, but outside of my home there's these bugs and they don't want to go away. Can you please take care of that? And the Grand Hunt one is, I don't know the description anymore, but I do know that it's like for the Plumed Rhino.
Right. The boss that we only know by name.
Yes. I do think that Grand Hunts are basically boss hunts, and normal hunts are defeat a certain number of enemies.
Dude, that sounds so sick, man. Just
Yeah, it
hunting
is,
bosses
yeah.
down, man. Oh my gosh. That's exciting.
I do feel like we're going to put this one also in a not actually a boss tier. But I swear, we're getting to the real bosses. There's
yes,
like real
dude.
bosses in this game.
Yes, bosses exist in Farloom, guys. Trust me.
Yes.
Trust me, guys. Okay, next guy. We actually have him twice here. This one's actually a real boss, right? So
Yeah.
we got a proper boss this time, folks. Here. So this is a Skull Boy. He invades Bone Bottom and kills some bugs in there. And then, do you want to tell me your theory? What happens after?
Yes. So I think this bug will just yeet in and yeet out, probably hurt or kill some bugs in the process, as we see it's hitting them. And the people of Bone Bottom will be, well, that kind of sucked. This guy he just killed was my cousin. Can you maybe go into wherever this bug disappeared to and take care of it? And
Yikes.
the only thing that's kind of in the way of this theory is that, if I remember correctly, there's like the area is kind of like collapsing.
Is it?
So
It's like a rocky area, is what I remember, but I don't remember it collapsing. Ah, there he is.
there.
Okay.
And here we can, if we are going to like frame by frame this,
Yeah.
we can see like two different kind of pieces of rock falling from the sky, like and there's another piece getting ready to fall, which doesn't seem to be triggered by it attacking.
I mean, it could be an attack. Like, it
Probably.
jumps up into the ceiling, and then it makes some rocks fall down.
Yeah.
Right? This could be an attack.
It could be an
of that
attack.
thing. So, where are we putting this guy?
I think, this is probably one of the first bosses we see in the game. So I would be inclined to put in like a low A.
Me too, actually. I would have put him in A tier. Because, like, this entire quest seems really interesting. He invades the city, then he runs off and you run after him, or he chases you away. That sounds exciting for sure. All right, next up, we have Carl. I'm just going to call him Carl because
Yes,
he looks like
Carl.
a Carl.
This is actually really funny because the next guy on the right, the red guy, I called in my first boss video, I just called him Stefan.
Dude, he does look like Stefan, dude.
Yeah, he just
He
does
just
look like
absolutely
Stefan.
does, man. All right.
So, but let's first talk about Carl.
So Carl, S tier. Easy S tier, right?
Okay.
I mean, he's so cute. He's so versatile. It's like the stag from the first game, except you have to fight him first before you get to travel around on him. And I think that's just easy S tier, right?
By the way, this thing is called, at least in the wiki, it's called Bell Beast. So I don't know if that's an official description
right.
from like maybe Edge magazine or something. But I don't know if I would put this guy in S tier though.
Really? I mean, come on. If the stag was a boss, would you not put it in S tier?
I mean, the stag would be an S tier, but only because the stag also like talks, so it would be a lot more emotional, probably. This is more like a pet situation, right? This is more like a house pet.
okay,
The
I
stag is more my
guess.
like friend. I feel like an A tier would be better for this.
All right,
one.
high A. Fair enough. Fair enough.
High A.
Okay. Now Stefan.
So, Stefan, of course, like we see him in the Coral Forest. So I think Stefan is probably going to be like a mid-game boss because his attacks do look kind of dangerous and they do look really, really, really cool. I think.
I can
I'd
see
also
that.
put it into A tier. This one.
Me too. I think below the Bell Beast.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
All right. Next up, we got this. Okay, there's an interesting story behind this guy. Because this guy is actually a secret boss, if it is a boss at all. And you can find him if you land into Farloom, right? The first thing you do is usually you go to the left, right? To explore the kingdom.
Yes.
But to the right, if you go to the... This is a spoiler, guys. I mean, the game's not even out. Why am I saying it's a spoiler? It's kind of a spoiler. But you go to the right, you jump up, and then to the right there's a hidden area. And this guy is in it. And
Yes.
I don't know, he looks strong. That's why I'm thinking it could be a boss. It could also just be a strong enemy.
I think this could be either an enemy or a boss, and it could also be like a hunting quest boss, where we're probably not supposed to see it this early on. Maybe it's even like closed off in the final game, and then we get like a hunting quest, like a grand hunt quest, where it's like, hey, there's something that's like like this fucking strong marshmallow at the start at the start of like Moskva. So if you want to take care of it, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
we go there and we see this kind of like thing just basically minding its own business.
You know who he reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of Elderbug.
Elderbug.
Just sad. Guys, if you play Silksong, do not kill this man. Do not kill this man, alright? Alright, let's put him in S tier where he goes.
Yes.
Deserves S tier. No, but seriously, I think he's probably gonna be like mid, like B tier.
Yes.
Somewhere here.
So, next up, we got this flying thing. One thing that's really interesting about this one is, I'm going to say a stupid sentence now and then going to explain it.
Okay.
I believe that this is a horse. Okay, now I'm going to explain what I mean.
Excuse me, princess. That does look like a horse to me. Okay.
Or like something that like carries a carriage, because if we see the eyes it has, it kind of looks like, God, what is the English word? It kind of looks like Scheuklappen.
It kind of looks like what a falcon would wear, right? If you have
that's also
you have a falcon, people who have a falcon on their hand, sitting on their hand, and they're not supposed to fly it, they have like this cap on, and it looks kind of like this. Yeah.
a blinder or a blinker, apparently, is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is like a bug that's been tamed and belongs to someone else, probably. So I do think this is a Grand Hunt boss. I'm pretty hyped for it, but I think this will be also in the B tier.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. Maybe, a bit lower-ish B tier.
It's so hard ranking all of these because we've seen like one attack of each boss. Some of them we don't even know if they're a boss at all.
Yeah.
But just because we fight him, we double tag this guy. Let's put him higher up than this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that's going to be probably a cool feature of that fight. Okay, next up we have Mysterious Warrior Man. Also, what I noticed is in the trailer, this guy appears with the headline, Meet New Friends, right?
Really, I think it's Meet New Legends, right? This video is basically us pretending to know everything. Being like, yes,
and then looking it up.
This is the case.
But I'm pretty sure it said New Friends. Yeah, that's awkward. Let's pretend I never said that.
Legends.
Fuck, it says Legends. You were right.
But
1-0 for Stizzl.
There is a theory going around that I don't know where it's stated that maybe like the map bug has like a kind of master that trained her.
That's possible, actually. Yeah, that is actually possible.
This is the long lost master that probably fell into the influence of like Bell Cult and the cult that's presumably doing everything in Falloom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually considering saying like, this guy could be the map bug, but then I realized it can't be the same bug.
Yeah.
Because the map bug has like a tail on its end, and this guy doesn't. So it's clearly not the same. But the master and apprentice theory, that makes a whole bunch of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So where would you put this guy?
I think because of the lore implications that this guy could have, I'm gonna have to put him higher than B tier, right?
Yes.
Like somewhere maybe above or below Stefan.
I'd probably put it even above Stefan.
Above Stefan.
Because Stefan feels like a boss that has like implications for like the Coral Forest area. Or like the Coral region. But I might just call it a teacher, mentor, warrior, whatever. Could have implications for like a grander quest or like a grander character arc.
Right. I think that's fair. Next up.
We got the Spitting Boy. There's also like a discussion to be had if this is actually a boss, because it does appear with just like the enemies tag with like, this
new enemies, right? Yeah. I also don't think this is a boss actually, because when you look at the 2 seconds of footage that we have, Hornet is like running from the right side and she's just running below all these platforms. It's like a really big room. I doubt that they would make a boss fight against something like this, a really big room where you could have just miles to dodge its attacks. Also, there's these platforms that blockade its spit, right? If it was a boss fight, surely they'd make it so you'd have to dodge the spit as opposed to just waiting below a platform, right? So it's like
So it's-
either here,
yeah.
top of not actually a boss, or like bottom of C tier.
Yeah. And one thing that some of you might be wondering is like, hey, there's some bosses where you're not sure, or some bosses you're straight up not putting into boss tiers. Why are you doing this? A, because prior to discussion we weren't really sure about some of these, and B, because if we exclude some of these, they're going to come up in the comments, right?
True, true. Always better to just include some extras than. I mean, hey, guys, it's more discussion to be had here, right? We're all sitting around the same virtual discussion table, and you guys can participate in the comments. Let us know if you think maybe that this guy is not a boss, then let us know. Okay, next up we got Carmelita, who is the Hunter Queen, right? That's her
Yes.
official title. And I think she looks absolutely amazing. And her attacks look very interesting. She has like this attack where she is a saw blade, basically, just wobbling across the arena. She has an attack where she summons, like, I don't know, spikes from the ground or something. So I think this is going to be a big boss fight. And for those reasons, I'd even put her in S tier.
Yes,
What do you think
and
about that?
for some more context, we do see this boss in the like Forest of Bones area, and Forest of Bones is so close to Moss Grotto, but I don't think that this is like an early game boss. I
Absolutely
think this
not.
is like
No, I don't
mid-game
think
at
so.
the earliest, because it does look pretty hard, and it does look pretty hype as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, S tier is where this boss belongs. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. Okay. Next up, we had the Hunter Queen. Now we have the Huntress, Stizzl. Do you
Very
want to tell us
fitting.
about her?
So I think that this is the bug that will probably give us the channel which will note down all of the enemies, all of the bosses, and the descriptions, which I always loved in Hollow Knight. She's talking about her like brood, her like offspring needing food or something, and then the offspring will hatch.
Oh, so
I
we're
think-
feeding like its offspring, and then we're fighting it. Then she's like, ah, now you're dead.
Yeah, basically feeding its offspring, then, oh, you're such an esteemed hunter, let's see if the offspring can deal with you, and then we'll fight the offspring. For
This could
now,
be
we're-
actually
yeah.
not a boss, or like
Yeah.
S tier if the storyline you're saying is correct. So it could be like anywhere.
I think we should put it in not actually a boss for now.
Yeah, I
Well,
put her at the bottom of not actually a boss, just because if she's not a boss, she's not even an enemy. So like,
Yes.
we don't even get to fight her in that case, which would be kind of sad. But you know, it is what it is.
Someone who definitely is a boss is Lace. Take it
Lace,
away.
that's right. Dude, we have 2 Lace fights in 2 different areas, right? And for this one, we're actually sure that it's 2 separate fights and not just her
Yes.
running away one time and then fighting. She's not somebody who runs away. Also, I just figured something out. Let me show you something real quick. The Hornet X Lace Fury is actually correct. It's confirmed.
Yeah. Lace is
They
into
are in
Hornet
love.
confirmed.
It's kind of a toxic relationship, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But there you have it, guys. For those reasons, I'm out. I'm just gonna do this. I think everybody wants us to do this, right? If we put her anywhere below S tier, I think we're gonna get cancelled again.
I'm gonna propose something different because,
Okay.
you know, it might make sense to rank all 2 Lace fights in one go.
Right.
I think Lace 1 belongs in high A and Lace 2 belongs in high S.
High S, okay. Like
Yes,
even above Emilicia.
Yeah. Even above Carmelita.
Basically, Lace remains in A tier, and Lace 2, I want to actually put below Carmelita because of the reasons that you gave in your video of like, okay, the fight looks kind of similar. I want to put it at the bottom of S tier, below Carmelita. By the way, guys, after finishing this video, go over to Stizzl's channel where we ranked all of the Hollow Knight bosses. He's working really hard on that video. You take the last judge. Let's go.
The Last Judge. I think this is like an out-of-the-way boss. Maybe not even one that we have to fight. And if we go to the very last boss we see here, I think they might be connected. And the ones on the right are Vault Tenders. And
Why are you saying that
fight-
they're connected?
Just by design, basically.
I don't know. Like this guy's completely encased in this shiny bronze armor and has this like scarf thing. And the Last Judge, I think that's just its shell mainly.
one thing why I think this is the case is that these on the right are vault tenders, and we haven't seen the vault as an area yet. And Last Judge is shown in an area that we also haven't seen before, I think. It looks kind of dope, looks really nice, and I think we're putting too many bosses into the A tier, but
I
I'd
know.
put this into A tier as well.
No. we gotta put someone in B tier. Like high B tier. How about that?
Alright, then high B tier, high B tier.
How about
okay,
that?
Okay.
Okay. But now, oh god, dude. The big steel golem, man. Holy shit. I think this guy is going to make an insane entrance. And then the boss fight itself, I mean, it looks absolutely phenomenal, right? I think this is an S tier.
Yeah, I would agree. It's something that Hollow Knight rarely ever did, except for like with Radiance, like have a fight that's like that takes up so much of the stage. This fight even more so than the Radiance did. So this will be a whole new challenge for Team Cherry to make a fun boss fight out of, but it looks so fucking cool, so I'm really looking forward to this. And let's move on to the Moss Mother. I would put this into C tier, because we already know the fight, and it's kind of like a Grossmother's Hollow Knight Silksong version, basically.
Yeah.
One thing that I think is interesting about this fight is that supposedly this fight is also optional. I've heard or seen in 1 or 2 videos that the fight only starts if you walk on one of her eggs and crush it.
Oh, okay.
And until then, the fight doesn't start, and the eggs are
That's
like
an
laid
interesting
out
speedrunning
with
strat. Just
and
skip
eggs.
the eggs.
Yeah,
Eggless
you can
percent.
just basically just eggless percent. Yes, they didn't just hop on in between the spaces, and then maybe the boss would not trigger.
Even before this triggers, you see in this frame it's not closed off, but now it is closed off. So I don't know if
okay.
this side was open before. Okay, on this frame, right? Actually in the exact same position. So maybe it is just triggered by being on this position. Actually, I can see that the left side only gets closed off while the fight starts. So it is possible that if the fight doesn't start, if we don't hit the eggs, we could just walk through.
So now next jump, it hits it here, and it's already closed. That's a bit before. That's a bit before. If we go,
Yeah,
it's triggered here basically.
Hit 1, 2, 3.
2.
3 frames. Okay, 3 frames
Now
later.
let's compare it with the other position. Oh my god, we're going so in depth into but it's fun.
This is crazy.
Okay. Position wise, we're already.
I think it's kind of similar. It's kind of similar. Okay, so
This
hits
is
it on
the-
this
this is
frame.
the
1,
hitting frame.
2,
Yes.
3. Okay, dude, 3 frames later. Exactly
Yes.
3 frames after hitting this thing. Okay, it is actually probably triggered by hitting this.
Yes.
That's really cool. If that's the case, I'm gonna put her up into low B tier, and I'm gonna pull this guy down instead. I think this is
that
better.
makes sense. Yeah, that's better.
That's cool. Okay. Every time we
Yeah.
do this, we find out new things from the exact same trailers that we've already watched 10,000 times. That's
It's
crazy.
awesome. It's like, oh my god.
Nice. Okay, now we have the 2 creepiest bosses of the lot, I want to say.
Okay, this first one, I don't think that's necessarily a boss.
Oh, that's definitely a boss, my dude. Actually,
Really?
is it? Is it
Really?
definitely a boss? Dude, that thing is massive, right?
But imagine just how intense it would be if this is just a normal enemy in that area.
Yeah, okay.
And this was 4 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, oh my gosh. They've now been working on this game for twice as long since this trailer came out.
Yes.
How much must they have added? It's actually going to be absolutely insane.
So
this guy,
we see this doing one attack,
he spits at us.
which looks really poisonous.
We can actually, this is like a separate area to the left here.
Yeah, we can just walk out to the left. So I think.
This is actually just a regular enemy.
But what a fucking scary enemy this is.
Dude, Team Cherry. Good on you guys. Holy shit. That's a
Yeah.
regular enemy? Dude, this would be like the final boss in some other Metroidvania, man.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so we have this guy
Yeah.
debunked. He's actually not an enemy.
Not-
But I like
But
him a
at the
lot.
top because he's nice.
This dude is kind of intimidating. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I don't like this boss because it's intimidating. So I'm gonna put it at the top of C tier.
No. There's like
That's my
one of the
reasoning.
Man, I would put it around the Legends guy. I would put it mid A.
Yeah, from a boss perspective, same. Just because I don't like it, lower than Legends guy.
Okay. Seth.
Seth. You know, Seth was a character that was drawn by a kid who sadly passed away, and they wanted Seth to be in the game, like this character. And so I think we should give Seth an honorary S tier.
Yes. I'm not saying that it wouldn't even, like, probably without the story, it would probably still be A tier because it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I think the boy that sadly died, Seth, of course, you know, it's named after, the character is named after him himself, actually is the only person aside from Team Cherry and maybe the testers who knows more about this boss, because Team Cherry, I think, at some point visited him in like 2018 or 19 or something and like talked about this boss and were like, okay, this is what he's doing in the game, which I think is really, really cool. That's
really powerful.
This is that's powerful. And it's seemingly like a pretty important role in the game, I feel like. One thing that's also interesting is that we see this guy, you know, we see like something floating down every once in a while. Kind of looks like flower petals, white ones. So it could be somewhere below the area where we fight Lace the second time. So that would also be...
That's interesting. I never noticed that.
This is gonna be an interesting feeling to fight this boss, I feel like. Very different.
Okay, let's move on to the next boss, Mr. Squid. Mr. Double Squid, actually.
This is probably also fought in the Coral Forest, I believe. And we are fighting two at the same time. They're kind of like coming out of the walls. They're inside the walls! No, they're coming out of the walls and probably just going to swoop from right to left, left to right, up and down and up. So, very much a mini-boss vibe.
Yeah.
And that's why I would put this in the C tier.
Same.
And we are probably going to get the tool from these guys, which is like the red triangle thingy, which we can also like bounce around.
True.
So this will be probably the item we get by defeating it.
Actually, could this be like the drill ability that we get from these guys? There it is. Okay, that's the thing that we get, yeah. Since we do get something important from him, I feel like we should put him above this guy.
Yes.
Now we have Sharpie. The Steel Assassin.
And we should also rank it together with the next boss, I feel like. Because when Sharp was first revealed, this guy was actually also shown like blacked out, like a blacked out silhouette. And another one to the right as well that we haven't seen so far. So I feel like Sharp is like the boss of these three. And this is of course the guy we've seen, the other one is someone we see in the Coral Forest region. Where it's kind of like, not really like, feels like a boss, but...
I don't think it is a boss, this one, actually. Because it's just in a regular area with other enemies. So this is probably definitely not a boss.
Yeah, but it's still got a weird placement, because it's like an enemy that's probably still unique, and is like right below Sharp in like hierarchy. It's odd. Maybe it's an enemy that, again, follows us around, or that's just... kind of annoys us along
Maybe
the way.
Maybe it's a mini boss at some point, and then it becomes like a regular enemy. But I want to put it like here somewhere, right?
This makes sense. But Sharp itself, or Sharp himself, it has been confirmed that we will encounter Sharp multiple times. So this might be another situation where we have to fight the same boss twice. So that's enticing. Also enticing is, of course, you know, the whole Steel thing. We got Steel Soul, Chin, and Hollow Knight. We've got their connections with like Void and stuff, which makes the whole debate if like Void is a thing in Silksong.
I think it definitely is. Look at him. Does he not look like he's made of Void? What else? What else could he be made of?
One of the blog posts, actually, the attack of his was shown off, and back then he did have like a Void tendril attack.
True. Okay, Void is in Farloom, guys. We've proven it. Where are we gonna place him? Somewhere A or B?
I'm gonna go A. Because it's like so enticing, so I would put it around the Legends guy again.
Depending on how important Sharp is in the game, right? Sharp could be like a major NPC.
Yes.
Let's put him like below Legends, man.
Okay.
Because they're both like potentially very lore relevant. Okay. Fig Mama, dude. Hell yeah. Easy S tier.
Easy S tier. Yeah. Really reminds me of that one room in like
I wonder who came up
in
with
the
this.
pleasure
Dude.
house with like the in Hollow Knight where we see the one the Poggy Thorax
Poggy
thingy.
Forex. Right, yeah.
That one NPC that's like,
I know
oh,
exactly who you're
I'm-
talking
yeah.
about.
And
I'm
this
a
is like this,
scrumptious bug indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
and this one looks like the kind of bug that's like responsible for its death.
Oh my.
So yeah,
It just sat on its face, dude.
boss room we see like it's being a butcher and stuff like that.
It is a butcher, yes.
yeah.
Yes, but I think rather than using its knife, it just uses its big booty. I think that's a lot of a funnier way to to kill its enemies. Okay.
At least dying with good memories, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're going into like boss fights thingy, I think we should put it into low B.
Low A, or I want to put it like high B just for the memes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Top
We
of
can
B
include
for
that.
the memes.
Tropio is the most flamboyant, and there are many people that think that this might be a fake out boss for reasons, I believe.
Why is that?
I don't know, because one of the attacks that is shown off actually doesn't deal damage, I think.
I think that's just the intro to the boss fight.
I think so as well. And I think Tropio is weird, and I like weird, and this is why it's an A tier.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like where in A tier? Probably like really high A tier actually.
Yeah,
Like
let's
right
put it
there.
high A tier.
Nice. Okay, so now we only have
The Vault Tenders, but it's actually three
Vault
of them. But
Tenders.
this is a PNG, so we don't see the other two because they're blacked out. It's enticing, but then again, there's like they do look like normal enemies in a way, and I feel like we know that they probably won't be. They probably will be a boss.
yeah. It could be like we fight all three at the same time, which I think would be really
Yeah.
cool. Like we've never had
But-
that, I don't think, in regular
Yeah.
Hollow Knight.
Except for Sisters of Battle.
True. Sisters of Battle is like one of the best fights in Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
So if
Yes.
that's the case, this would also have to be like one of the S tier fights, right?
But for now, because we haven't seen it, of course, I think I would just put it in a B.
Okay.
So where would you put it?
I actually would put it here in S tier because I think they are going to be
Really?
important. I think they're going to be important.
Okay.
Like they're like some of the
gonna- yeah.
gatekeepers of the Citadel.
Yeah, let's just hope you're right, and yeah. So now we have to flip this around a bit.
We
I
have
a few
some rearranging
things
to
that I
do.
want to suggest.
Sure.
I think even though Seth is an honorary S tier, I think for now we should put it as the leader of A tier.
Fair.
And I think we should put Stefan as the lead of B tier. And maybe also put the other thing,
This guy
the creepy
in B
thing
tier.
down as well, yeah.
If it's going to B tier, I don't want it to be in front of Stefan.
Yeah, true as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, right? In A tier, it's like, okay, it's before. But if we like need a character that's like representing each tier, you know,
Yeah.
then... Stefan's
Actually,
more like
this
it.
guy is not a good boss
Yeah,
to represent C tier. I feel like we should
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
Moss Mother down here.
My thoughts exactly.
I feel like we should put this guy down. Because this guy, we don't know if it's a boss yet. We don't know a whole lot. Let's put him like below Moss Mother here. And then
Yeah.
we have like a neat bell curve distribution here.
Yes, that's very nice.
Folks, I am really excited to hear your theories about all these bosses. We've kind of laid out some of our own here. I'm going to see you soon. Make sure to check out Stizzl and his video. It's going to be linked like somewhere.
So yeah, if you like this, then let us know, and
Like
we'll
and
see
subscribe.
you soon.